Version 36 of LineSmarts should now be available for everyone to download worldwide. It includes a number of tweaks and improvements and bug fixes, and it's also got some cool new features. Now, the first that you might encounter is when you go to take a photo. So on the photo capture screen, there's quite a few things going on that are new. One of them, down the bottom left, is you'll see a temperature. And that temperature is downloaded from the internet, from a database on the internet. And so you'll require an internet connection to get that temperature come through, but that should download the local temperature for you. It will be green if it's done that. It also needs the location to be on the device, turned on, for it to be able to download it. It'll be green if it can do that. Otherwise, it can be orange, in which case it's used the last temperature that are recorded, or red if it can't get one. Aside from that, everything else that's new on the screen is about calibration. And that's calibration of the device. So that includes the accelerometers that show the orientation of the device, and also the compass. So if you look up the top, you'll see that there's the compass direction, and as you move the device around, the compass will show you which direction that you're looking in. The other one that you've got is the crosshairs in the middle. There are two sets of crosshairs. There's one that's white, and that's just showing the orientation of the device. That doesn't really move. It moves, it just shows the center of the screen. The other one is green. And the green crosshairs is showing the orientation of the device. So the green line should always show what the device believes is vertical and where it believes the horizon is. It's showing it horizontal. Now, the point of showing these isn't so much to show what vertical and horizontal is, but it allows the user to test to make sure that the device has got these things correct. So for example, if you line the green line up with something that you know to be vertical, like the side of a building, then that green line should line up with that. If it's not lining up, then it means that the device may need recalibration. And we've got another video separately that shows you how to do that. Same thing for the horizontal green line. If the horizontal green line isn't shown roughly at the horizon level, then that's a signal that you might want to do a recalibration. The other way that you might discover that the device needs calibration is it's got internal routines to monitor whether it needs recalibration. And if that occurs, then those crosshairs, or for that matter the compass, will be shown in orange or red. Now, the other thing you can do with this photo capture screen is you can use that to obviously discover which direction you're looking in, the compass direction, but also you can use it to measure the lean of something, for example. So if you move the white crosshairs and tilt your device to line up with something that's leaning, then on the bottom left it's going to show you the angle of deviation from what you've lined up against to the vertical line that's shown in green. So that's a handy feature that I hope people get some use out of. Aside from the changes to the photo capture screen, there have been a few other improvements. If you look in one of the folders, in this case we'll look in the conductor library, you might notice that the navigation has been improved to make it a bit easier. Also, we've added in the conductor library here, we've got BS 215 conductor, New Zealand specific conductor library that we've added in here. We can add other conductor libraries as people require them. If we look in one of these measurements here, another thing that's changed is the support measurement. They've now been split out to left and right support measurements. And then within each left and right support, the measurements have been structured. So for example, we've got this pole measurement here. And what we can do with that is we can zoom in and we can measure the height of this pole, the height and lean at the same time. Unfortunately, we can't see the bottom of this pole. That slows us down. But that will give us more or less the height, 8.431 meters. And were this, or we can do it anyway. If this was a timber pole, we could measure the diameter at the top here. And we could do the same thing for the base. Another change that we've made is previously with LineSmarts you had to be looking from front on to measure cross arms. But now we've changed things in LineSmarts so you can do it from pretty much any angle. You couldn't do it looking directly from the side, but so long as you can have a reasonable angle onto the cross arm, and that the cross arm is at right angles to the lean of the pole, then it will provide an accurate result. Finally, and so once you do one cross arm, you can do several cross arms. We've also got this general measurement. So what you can do with that is that allows you to pretty much measure anything. So for example, we can measure the height difference between these cross arms. And what we could also put a note in here to say height difference, and be as descriptive as we like. And that'll provide that. Could be phase to phase or all sorts of things. And so we could do the same thing with the right support measurement if we wanted to. And in this case here, it appears that this pole has got a bit of lean in. It's a new pole, but there's, for whatever reason, it's got a little bit of lean going on. So we can measure the height of that pole. It's got a lean of 1.5 degrees in the longitudinal direction, and the height is 8.9 meters. So that's the support measurement. But because what we've done there is, by breaking it into different, a structured approach to doing these measurements, what allows us to do is we can now select all these. So select all, and then down the bottom, we've got export to CSV format. And what it does is it pulls together all the data that's been collected when those measurements were collected, and also all the information all the results from the processing, and it'll put that data onto CSV files. One CSV file for the span information, so the conductor tensions and so forth, and another one for the support information. So in other words, all the pole height measurements and the cross arm measurements and so forth. So those can be exported to Drive or to email. The final thing that's changed is that, I don't know, I've got an example of it right here, but within the structure clearances for when you're measuring to external structures, it now shows the vertical and horizontal clearance to those structures, which was something that we'd missed out on doing before. Previously, we just reported the direct distance to structures, so we fixed that up. So those are the main changes that we've made in version 36.